Bart vs the Space Mutants is one of those games that everybody had a copy of back in the day, but no one ever seemed to play. I'd never even got past the first level before, and I'd like to see what the rest of the game has in store for us, so let's take a look.
The intro is a nice touch, although everyone looks a bit off sat on the couch, either wearing the wrong colours or in Homer's case just looking weird. What's he doing with his legs? And who on earth is that on the picture hanging on the wall? The 8-bit rendition of the theme is a cool touch as well, but let me tell you now, I wish there was some other music. The amount of time I sunk into playing this game to get footage of all of the levels with the same song being played over and over again drove me absolutely insane. I think most people will recognise this level, but the goal of it is to cover up 24 purple items throughout Springfield. There are a fair few ways to do so, such as spray painting, dropping material over them, or firing rockets at them. Some of the items are in plain sight, and some of the items are slightly more cryptic, like prank calling Mo, or waiting outside the cinema until the clock reaches 4 to spray paint a purple wearing kid. Some of the aliens have disguised themselves as humans, which you can spot with your X-ray specs They Live style. Jump on their heads to collect the letter of Maggie's name, and once spelled out she will assist you with the boss of the level. Graphically it looks like 8-bit Simpson. Jimbo looks a bit off, and Mo is just wrong, but Bart, Maggie and Nelson are all recognisable. Also, it's worth noting this was the early days for the Simpsons show, who managed to get their own characters wrong way back then. Overall, it's not a bad first level, and I like the different approach to the platform genre, like an element of adventure game thrown into the mix. But what lets it down is the awful controls. The run and jump button are the same, so it makes some of the platforming bits pretty difficult. It's not too apparent in the first level, but becomes a real problem as you progress. This is where it all goes downhill. We've got donuts flying everywhere, killer carrier bags and difficult jumps. This level isn't fun. It's an endurance and I'm regretting picking the game up, but I've started so I've got to finish. For some reason you have to collect hats this time, and why are all these shoes trying to kill me? What's up with the severed lady? Marge is a helper for the boss this time, the boss being the only redeeming factor of the level, the babysitter bandit. Level 2 is where we start to stray from the source material and the controls become a major issue. I died a lot here, and just for fun there's no continues, no password and no level select sheet, so it's right back to the beginning when you do die. Level 3 has some funfair mini games in which you can win some extra lives. Some more bizarre enemies, and this time we're collecting balloons. It's more fun than level 2 and features Krusty, Itchy, Scratchy and Sideshow Bob as the boss. Lisa's the name to collect this time, which is easier being only 4 letters. Overall a much better level than 2, with at least a few Simpsons characters and no killer shoes. Level 4 is on par with 2, or maybe even slightly harder due to the actual length of it. I think it's a museum with a jungle and a desert section, and the goal this time is to collect exit signs, which you can shoot with a laser if they're out of reach, and we're collecting the letters for Homer this time. The enemies are really the furthest thing away from the Simpsons universe here. We've got spiders, killer monkey, a battle with a mummy, and last but not least, a dinosaur. Remember that episode with the dinosaur? No. Also, we've got some really difficult platforming sections. I almost gave up altogether after making it to the end of the level, and not having collected all of the exit signs I couldn't progress any further, but I also couldn't backtrack due to these Mission Impossible style laser traps, which meant resetting the game and starting right from the beginning. The only positive thing I can say about this level is that it has different music to the rest of the game, and the inclusion of having Marvin Monroe as the boss was pretty cool. So here we are, the last level of the game, and it's actually a recognisable place from the show. We've got no name to collect here, and the goal is to collect uranium rods. The level isn't linear and there's no map, and I've got to admit I did get lost a few times. There's a lift to different floors, and each floor has a code to get through doors, which you can find out from a Simpson family member on that floor. Or you can do what I did and just try every number until you get it right. I should have written them down though, as I kept forgetting, and it was a pretty time consuming method. I enjoyed the level overall, and the level clearing Homer power up was pretty sweet. I did take ages to realise Maggie was holding the last rod. Now it's time for the final boss. Who could it be? A space mutant? Ned? Mr. Burns? Nope, nobody. That's it, the end of the game. What an anticlimax. 5 levels. 5 levels of pure hell. It doesn't sound much, but it took me so long to do it. Like days of playing. And you know what makes it worse? The world record for speedrunning in this game is like 15 minutes. Am I that bad at video games? And the ending was such a letdown. It didn't feel worth it. I just completed the turtles, which was hard, but at least I fought the shredder at the end. I thought I was going to come away from this feeling good about beating a game I'd never beaten the first level of before, but no, I didn't. I don't recommend this game to anyone, ever.